Good morning or good afternoon. Um, I'd like you to open up, if you would, while we're working on this video or before we start working, I'd like you to make sure that you open up the attachment, the link to the online calculator. So it should say the address you see up at the top is already um, linked to this lesson. So if it's possible, you can open up the calculator and have this video tutorial running so that you can kind of stop when you need to practice what we're gonna go over today. So if at any point you need to pause this and then go to your real online calculator, you can try what we're doing together. So the purpose of this calculator is to be able to use fractions. So right here, this lovely little button is going to be very helpful for us. This key is going to be very helpful because we're working with ratios and we're going to use them in fraction form. I need you to make sure that this is underlined main page, and I also need you to make sure that this says DEG. All right, so let's get started. Let's enter 1/2. So we're going to press 1, then our ABC key, and then 2. And you're going to see off to the right, it's going to give it to us in decimal form. It defaults to decimal form. But if you press the little circle next to it, it will give us back the fraction 1/2. So we can use this to our advantage. And now I'm going to press clear all, and we'll take it away. If I want to reduce a fraction, for instance, 6/8, I'd put 6 ABC 8. And again, it's going to default to the decimal form. But if I want to see what it looks like as a fraction, I'm going to press the little circle, and it's going to give me the reduced form of 6/8. I'm going to clear that, and next, let's explore what happens when I enter a improper fraction. For instance, if I put 7 ABC 4, it is going to give me the decimal form. But if I try to convert it to a mixed number, it's going to leave it in improper fraction form. What would be helpful is if I have an improper fraction that's not reduced, for instance, 14/8. Once again, it gives me 1 and 75 hundredths. But if I press the circle next to it, it's going to reduce that improper fraction to the reduced improper fraction form of this number. Now let's go ahead and explore what happens if I want to multiply. So if we want to multiply, say 1 ABC 2, and that 1/2, if I try to press times right now, see how it's going to put a times dot right next to the denominator of 2? We don't want that. So I'm going to clear that, and then I'm going to press the arrow that's right underneath the ABC button, and it should now move me past the 1/2. And now I can press times and say I want to multiply by 3/4. So I can put 3 ABC 4. And right here is the answer that on the left, right hand side. And if I wanted it in fraction form, it would be 3/8. If I want it back into decimal form, I tap the circle again and get 3 and 75 hundredths. So now let's try that again. We're going to try, let's start with 2/3. So 2 ABC 3. Again, I'm going to use this right arrow underneath ABC to move my cursor. I'm going to put times, and let's try 2/5. So 2 ABC 5. And that is the decimal answer. And this is the fraction answer of that. So you can go back and forth by pressing this little circle that converts it back and forth. Finally, the last thing we want to talk about is dividing. So let's clear this. So now let's try 3/4 divided by 1/2. So we're going to put 3 ABC 4. And I want to move that cursor next to the 4 out of the denominator, and now I'm going to press division, and I'm going to press 1 ABC 2, and you can see the answer that they have is 1 and 5/10, and they would give it to me in improper fraction form is 3/2. Let's try that one last time. We can clear the calculator by pressing clear all. And we'll try 1/5. Whoopsies. Let me back up again. Now let me clear that. 1 ABC 5. I'm going to move my cursor. And this time I'm going to divide it by a whole number. I'm going to divide it by 2. And it gives me 1/10 in decimal form and 1/10 in fraction form. So I hope this tutorial was helpful. And now I'd like you to proceed to our lesson 1, on Monday, on April 27th. Thank you.